From record-breaking rain to floods, Mother Nature on full display. With climate change creating more extreme weather and sea levels on the rise, it's shown us how vulnerable our homes can be. But experts say there are ways to make them more resilient to floods, and here's how. The first thing you'll want to find out is whether you live in a floodplain. Officials say ask your local authority for a map, ask your neighbors about the area's history, and find out if the land has been reclaimed, like with Sumas Lake or False Creek, where the shoreline was changed to allow for development. It's important to know what the flood risk is in your area so you can figure out how much protection your home needs. If you do live in a floodplain, you can set up barriers to limit water from coming in, a term known as dry flood proofing. Some temporary solutions are barriers just outside your door, or window covers to prevent water from coming into your basement. Then there are flood barriers, a pricier option that can be set up within an hour. And finally, gates that are permanently fenced around your property made of thick glass. Now, what about preventing damage inside your home?
So think about how you use your home in terms of elevation. The other thing we can think about is how we can use different materials in our homes.
Leave valuables like tech on higher floors. Try raising your appliances like furnaces onto higher surfaces like cement blocks. And where it's likely to flood, use materials like tile or concrete instead of hardwood. Another option is called wet flood proofing. It's like designing a space in your home literally to flood.
There's less force and power against your home, and then you're using these materials that are recoverable afterwards or easily replaceable.
In the U.S., many people living on floodplains have these vents. It protects the home's foundation by balancing the water inside and outside your home, which can be pumped out later. Some homes in Surrey are even designing ground levels or garages just to tolerate floods, while living spaces and storage are higher up. And that also shows how building on higher elevation can help protect our homes. In the next 70 years, the sea level in Vancouver is expected to rise by about 1 meter. And if nothing is done, floods will threaten these areas in light blue.
Sometimes developers will raise the ground elevation by adding fill and then build on top of that. And in some cases, they reach that elevation by the architectural design of the home.
That's why buildings like the new St. Paul's Hospital are being built higher with rising sea levels and floods in mind. And consider this cafe, built 3 meters above the ground so its kitchen, bar, seating is protected.
So that means that the foundations didn't lose their viability. It means that anything essential like the electrical service, the electrical panels, the hot water tank, all of those systems are placed high enough up in the air that they haven't been touched by the water.
While there's no quick fix, experts say it's important for cities to talk to their communities and find solutions to rising sea levels and heavy rainfall. They say governments need to prioritize flooding and really mitigate the risks of our changing climate. Beneath Brach, CBC News, Abbotsford.